Okay, so number 10, among 5,000 items randomly selected baggage handled by American Airlines, 22 were lost. Among 4,000 handled by Delta, 15 were lost. Use a sample to construct a 95% confidence interval for the difference. So we have two pieces of information about a bag, which airline, whether it was lost or not. So we're splitting into two groups, and then we're saying, were you lost, yes or no? So this is a two proportion setup. And it's, again, this is kind of like the earlier question where we were asked to find a confidence interval for the difference. So where was that confidence interval for the difference? That was this one here, number 6. So two groups and a confidence interval for the difference. That's something we talked about in class, but in the summary for the final exam, I indicated that I would only ask confidence intervals for one variable, and for the two group cases, I would only ask hypothesis test questions. So that's still the case. So this question is asking for a confidence interval, which we did do in class, but on the actual final exam, we will only have hypothesis tests for two group situations like this. Now, both these questions are categorical. So once we split into two groups, we're comparing proportions. So this is the perfect setup for two proportion. All right, so we'll flip over and we'll run our two proportion test. You could use chi-squared here also. Your table would just be 2 by 2, and that's fine. But this question is kind of made with two proportions in mind, I think. So in the first group, it was 22 out of 5,000 that were lost. And in the second group, it was 15 out of 4,000. So I will run the confidence interval, but the main thing that I'm interested in is the hypothesis test here. Is there a difference between the two? So here's our confidence interval for the difference, and our p-value is 0.629. So that is not small. So we do not have strong evidence of a difference here. All right, number 11. A researcher is interested in studying the percentage of smokers among those who've completed 4 years of college. Recent survey of 785 randomly selected subjects who completed 4 years of college, 18.3% smoke. Find a 95% confidence interval. So they were talking about stuff with like 4-year college, people who had done 4 years of college, but there's no people who haven't done 4 years of college. Like every single person in this study has done 4 years of college, and we really only have one piece of information about them, which is, did they smoke or not? Like that's the only thing where we record something different from one person to the next. Like we ask them one question, yes, no, did you smoke? So this is a one variable, and it's a yes, no question, so it's a one proportion question. We do need a number for this 18.3%, so 0.183 times 785, that's approximately 144. So it's like 143.6, but Minitab's going to want a whole number there, so we have to round that off. So we're going to put 144 out of 785 into one proportion test on Minitab. So stat, basic statistics, one proportion. We have summarized data. We're not doing a hypothesis test this time. We're doing a confidence interval. And what did I say? 144 out of 785. 95% confidence interval. Let's see what we get. So there's our answer. Our 95% confidence interval is from 1.56958 up to 0.212322. So somewhere between 15 and 21%. Okay, one more question and we're done these 12. So you're actually only going to have like 3 questions like this on the exam for stats, and then there's going to be plus the 2 from probability from earlier in the chapter. So we've gone through 12 of these. You'll have like 3 questions like pulled from this list, like of these types of questions basically. So last question 1990, 5.8% of applicants who were tested for drugs failed the test. Okay, so a recent sample, so that's the old number. So here's a new number. A recent sample of 1,520 current job applicants resulted in 63 failures. Find a confidence interval for the present failure rate. So this old number makes it look like there should be a hypothesis test, but then the question actually asks for a confidence interval. So I guess we're not really doing a hypothesis test. We're just doing a confidence interval here. And why don't we put a number in here, 99%. I'll leave that in the version of the notes I give you to because it should specify the number that goes with the confidence interval. Okay, so this is another one proportion. Like we're just saying, did you fail, yes or no? That's all we know about each of the people in this sample. So 63 out of 1520 failed, and we want a 95% confidence interval. So this one's like not actually really different than the one we just did. We're doing the exact same test, and we're also looking for a confidence interval. So 63 out of 1520, 63 out of 1520, and another 95% confidence. Did I say, I typed 99 on the sheet, so let's change this to 99. 99% confidence interval, see what we get. Okay, so between 2.9% and 5.6%. So it used to be 5.8. So even at the high end of our confidence interval, we're still lower than 5.8. So it looks like the numbers are lower now than that old number that we might have compared ourselves to if we wanted to do a hypothesis test. All right, so that is my review sheet. Remember, this is not the whole exam. There are 2 questions from the stuff that basically came before spring break. So you have to review that stuff too. You know, dig out your old review sheets for that old stuff. And I think I posted those review sheets in D2L. I think they're on there under review materials or something like that. All right, so that's it for my videos. You know, send me emails or drop into my office hours if you have questions about anything. And remember the final exam, you should set aside a 2-hour block sometime Monday through Wednesday next week and knock that out on D2L. All right, so I guess that's it. Farewell to you all.